Hi, my name is Ronnie Crass. This is our second week, going into our second chapter, covering the line of duty deaths and safety within the fire department. Um, so I analyzed the textbook first. I chose the case of Espinoza versus Schollenberg. Happened on March 15, 2006 when the decision was made, but basically this is about a female firefighter. She was from Arizona. She was off duty at the time, and she had her 9-year-old daughter in the back seat of the car, and she came across a accident. I'm sure we've all probably come up on something off duty. So she wasn't getting paid or anything, but she decided she wanted to help this person, and she reached into the vehicle to turn some hazard lights on, and she got struck by another vehicle that was out of control and rear-ended the car. She had some pretty serious injuries that occurred to her, but ultimately she sued the parents of the girl that was driving the car. The girl that was driving the car was actually underage. She wasn't even legal to drive, but her parents were in the car with her. So she sued her parents. She also sued the Arizona Department of Public Safety, and a judge dismissed this case. She appealed it, and the judge cited that the fireman's rule, which I'm not sure if you're even familiar with this, but I was not familiar with this until I actually read the case and read through the second chapter. But the fireman's rule, I'm going to read it to you just because it's I'm going to make sure I get it right, but it's a rule based on judicial decisions in many states prohibiting public safety officers, including firefighters, EMS, and police officers, from filing suit against a property owner for their death or injury unless there has been an extraordinary hazard created by the property owner. The relevancy of this, is I was unaware of this rule until reading the chapter, and she appealed it, and she actually won the case. The judge overturned everything and ruled in her favor. This kind of hits home a little bit for me because I was also reading through these other cases in the same chapter, and it talked about the line of duty death of Robin and Brian. I actually quit Colerain just a couple months before Robin and Brian were killed in the line of duty death of Colerain. But Robin's parents actually tried to file suit for the fireman's rule, and I did not know that until I read that. So there's definitely some interesting stuff going on with that. The recent case I chose was the state of Michigan versus Charles Edward Horn. This is January 14th, 2001. The facts of this case was Mr. Horn, he's not in the emergency service, not in the fire service, anything like that, but he was entering a freeway at night. He had a passenger on the passenger side, and he also had somebody in his back seat. He ended up striking a fire truck that was properly parked at the proper angle, protecting the scene that they were operating on. And he killed the passenger in the back seat of the car, and he got put away for I can't remember how many years, but he got a pretty significant sentence. The things that took away from that, first off, the guy was texting and driving. They actually pulled phone records from his cell phone, and they got a warrant to get his records requests of his phone. He was texting and driving at the time, so we obviously shouldn't text and drive. But our department has a strict policy on being on your phone, texting while you're driving any of the vehicles, things like that. I'm sure most departments do. They don't want you on the phone while you're trying to drive a truck or a $500,000 piece of apparatus or more. One of the other things I was able to take away from that is truck placement. Truck placement's huge. When we have an accident on the highway, we automatically send 2 trucks. That first truck is there operating at the scene, doing some protection, but that second truck sits way further back. Protecting. So that's definitely something you can learn from this case, because accidents do happen whether they're texting or driving. That's beside the point, because they're going to happen regardless. The current event I chose was in Athens, Texas. It's a fire department that sought a grant to address cancer concerns. This just actually occurred back in December 21st, 2021. The Athens City Council approved the resolution to allow the fire department to apply for a grant to purchase equipment that will lessen the cancer risk for its personnel. I'm not sure about your department, but here at our department we have a strict policy on no smoking anywhere on duty. If you're in uniform, you're not allowed smoking, no tobacco use in the station. We actually, I don't know if you can see in the setups, but right here, we just had this exhaust system put in last year, and now 3 of our 4 stations have the exhaust system put in to prevent this, and they call these preventable cancer risk. So basically there's 11 best practices that that you can look at, and you can find those. What I'm trying to say here, where you can find these at is the regardless, if you get on the link that was provided on this site, it actually it shows you the 10 steps, and I'm sure a lot of you guys or girls have these posted in your stations on what you can do to minimize risk, such as cleaning your gear, not having the badge on or walking around with dirty gear anymore, cleaning your helmets, getting a shower after you do have a fire within a timely manner, wiping down the trucks, wiping down the seats of the trucks, bagging your gear up when you're coming home, deconning from the scene. I'd like to know, see if anybody's not doing that. So if anybody's out there that's not implementing any of these decon measures, let me know. I'd like to hear them. Let me know why you're not implementing them at your department. Now, as far as officer development, I was looking at the Firefighter Code of Ethics, and I think I answered all these questions, but I'm only going to go over basically the first two, because I think I can combine the first two into one. And that's the Executive Fire Officers Code of Ethics. It hits a lot of points, and I think if you look at the very first Code of Ethics, you can use that for all of them. You don't even have to look at the other one, because if you abide by the first one, you don't even have to worry about all the other ones. And that first one is always conduct myself on and off duty in a manner that reflects positively on myself, my department, and the fire service in general. It doesn't get any more clear than that. So basically, your character is what's going to make or break you in the fire service. I mean, what you do when you're on duty, when you're off duty, when people are looking, when they're not looking. You definitely don't want to mess with your character, and you want to make sure you have integrity too, because that's a big part of the fire service, like gaining trust in all these people that we're helping, and even having trust with all your coworkers. So at that, I'll leave it at that. If you have any questions, get back to me. Thank you for your time.